Leon Harrison, how are you, buddy?
G'day, man. How are you, Jeff? I'm well.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing well. Also, buddy, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, mate, it's my pleasure. It's always fun to do in quarantine. So yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
you're very welcome, man. It does look like from this angle, it looks like you're in the bathroom right now. That looks like a shower curtain behind you.
Might be. I'm taking a dump.
Oh, you if that's true, awesome. I'm so excited. And what an era we live in where you can do a full-on video interview while taking a shit. If anyone says nothing good has come out of this time, they're wrong. That's the one good thing is
Absolutely.
take a quick shit while you have a little interview here.
Have a yarn and a shit.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll continue here because you're gonna get more and more relaxed as this goes on, as that comes out of you. So this will be great. Where are you right now? I mean, other than the bathroom, but are you? What city are you in?
Toronto. Yeah, I reside in Toronto now.
Okay, but where are you originally from? Because that's not a Toronto accent you've got there.
No, I'm from Sydney, Australia, and have been residing in Toronto for about 4 years now. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's a bit cold at the moment, but other than that, I don't mind the city. It's quite a fun place to live.
And up until 4 years ago, were you still living in Australia?
Yeah, we'd come to Canada at some points 3 times in 1 year. So the frequent flyer points were adding up, and oh man, that flight's just killer, and the jet lag that you suffer after it's killer. So like, it was just time to do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never been to Australia. It's one of my dream kind of places to go. But what was it like growing up there?
Pretty good actually. Yeah, a lot different to what it is now. But yeah, I mean, there's less pedos hanging around when I was a kid. So
well, that's good. That's good.
No, it's pretty relaxed, man. I got a bit of both worlds. I grew up in the country and then grew up also in the coastal town of Terrigal, which is just north of Sydney. So yeah, it was good.
That's awesome, man. What were you? Obviously you're a rock star now, but what were you like as a kid?
A pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just full of beans, and yeah, I wasn't a kid to really sit inside.
Full of beans?
Yeah, just
that's why you spend so much time in the bathroom. It's all those fucking beans, man.
Yeah, man. It's all the beans.
What does that mean? I've never even heard that term before. Full of beans.
Just full of life. I think it must be an Australian thing.
So like parents and your parents and teachers and stuff would describe you as a kid who's full of beans?
Yeah, pretty well. My parents were teachers as well, right? So
oh wow,
they always sided with the teachers, and my report card was always Leon's disruptive, Leon's too noisy, Leon doesn't put his hand up to ask a question, all that bullshit.
Leon keeps telling everyone he's in the bathroom, and if they have any questions, they can come in and talk to him. Must be all those beans he's full of.
Must be the beans.
That's great. Were you a troublemaker then, or were you pretty well tamed, knowing that your parents were teachers?
Oh, a bit of both. Bit of both. Yeah, no, I was disruptive more than troublemaker, but I used to hang out with troublemakers.
Yeah.
But,
what was the worst thing you got in trouble for as a kid?
I don't know. Probably being mean to my sister.
Older or younger?
She was older, but she was a bitch, so whatever. Yeah. No, I love her dearly.
What's the term for that? If you're full of beans, what is she? What's her bean count?
What's her bean count? She was kind of similar. She was pretty hyperactive as well, so Yeah, no, what else? I don't know. We used to put all sorts of shit in the microwave. That was that was never a good ending, you know. So
What
yeah.
what kind of stuff? Like, give me an example of something you put in the microwave
Oh,
shouldn't have been in there.
geez, I think one time we put like a whole loaf of bread in there and just turned it on for like 15 minutes.
Oh shit!
I think that was when we broke the microwave and almost had a fire. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh wow.
We used to make, you know, those like poppers, to pop the streamers out.
Yeah.
We used to sort of get those, and my friend was pretty crafty at making a sort of gun out of them, if you will, and you could just pull the string and it'd fire something out and all that sort of stuff. I don't
Oh,
know.
nice.
Yeah, we used to. I don't know. You know, have cones and stuff.
Cones?
Cones way before marijuana was legal. Still isn't in Australia. So that was always fun.
What's a cone?
Like smoking a cone.
Like an ice cream cone? What kind of cone?
Don't you,
I
don't you
never,
call it a cone that sits in the bong?
like a bong?
Yeah.
Is a bong a cone or a cone a bong?
Smoking a cone's just smoking a bong.
Man, Australia sounds way cooler than this. I grew up with not nearly as much colorful language to describe things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it
well,
sounds like a great place.
yeah.
When did you start getting into music? Do you remember when you kind of first heard a song that sort of hit you in a certain way?
Mm. Yeah, like, I mean, my dad, I said they were teachers. He was a music teacher. So literally I was around music since I was born. And my mum used to take me up to the school. One of my first memories is crawling around the dad's music classroom. So, but I was hitting drums at 2 or 3. I think there's photos of that, and that's probably how I got my beans out. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
that's how
Gotta
I
get
got my
those
energy
beans out somehow.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I was crawling around the classroom, and I think the first time music. Well, first of all, yeah, Dad was into like stage bands and big bands and jazz bands and stuff like that. So that was kind of my first introduction to live music, and then obviously a band called Silverchair came along in the early '90s, and that was kind of Australia's answer to Nirvana kind of thing, and they were kind of grungy and angsty and all that shit. So that was my first taste of like, fuck, this is cool. This is what I want to do, because I went to a private school because my parents used to work there. We couldn't afford it; they just got a discount.
Yeah.
um, and I used to always get told to tuck my shirt in and pull my socks up and straighten your tie and all that sort of stuff. And as soon as I saw this sort of grunge movement, I was like, fucking right. Like, I just couldn't believe that that's how I was living. Put your blazer on. You have to go to school in like a fucking an extra coat, you know. And
Yeah.
if you don't walk through the gates in that extra coat, everything there's a major earthquake. And yeah,
Yeah.
you're disrespectful to Christ, our Savior.
Yeah, you know how he hates people that aren't wearing those extra coats, you know?
Exactly.
That we do have in common. When
Ridiculous.
I was a kid, I also had to wear an extra coat to school, but for a much different reasons, just because it was freezing here.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
do
there
it to
you go.
survive. Had nothing to do with Christ. It was survival.
Well, I think that in the summer months in Australia, which is kind of all year round, but I think you didn't have to wear your extra coat through the school gates those particular terms. But when winter came, it was all about pleasing Christ and
Absolutely.
wearing those extra coats.
Jesus takes the summer off, though. Like
Yeah.
the teachers. Jesus is on the teacher's schedule.
Exactly.
What is a winter like in Australia? Like what's a typical winter day?
Well, you could get really beautiful winter days, but probably the worst would be the fact that we're kind of down the tropics and all that, and the cyclone weather and the big southerly storms that come through that are quite vicious, really. So it's good for the surfers. It brings a lot of swell and waves, but the temperatures aren't terribly cold. I mean, you need a jumper or a sweater, whatever you guys call them, and that's about it. But yeah, major winds will knock down power poles and all that sort of shit. So we don't get that terrible sort of sludgy snow, but there are other things that sort of, piss us off.
It's that's great. It's just more of a piss off than any real like bad weather. You're not cold, you're just angry.
Yeah, pretty well.
Oh, that's awesome, man. What were you a surfer, or are you a surfer?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I went for a surf last time I was at home and almost freaking died because it's so much sort of upper body work. But no, I love surfing. It's just you kind of have to keep up on it, otherwise you'll drown.
Yeah, that's kind of the bad side of surfing. It's kind of the downside. Yeah. That's why I've never gone. That, and I can barely stand when I'm not on water, let alone trying to get up on one of those fucking things.
Yeah, it's just like clockwork, really, when you learn it. But yeah, I couldn't go out in big surf now. It'd be a tragedy.
When were you, or how old were you when you started kind of getting into music, or even like formed your first band?
First band was probably 13, 14. We were called No Exit. And my mother, God bless her cotton socks, she was like, "Oh, great name. You'll get lots of free advertising, like in car parks, in parking lots. No Exit." I'm like, "Mum, they're not going to relate a no exit sign to my shitty high school band."
What an optimistic mom, though. Oh, what
advertising.
That's great. Oh, can you imagine just someone coming, trying to get out of a parking garage and looking up like, "I love that band. They're everywhere. I see them everywhere I can't go. This band is it's amazing."
So good.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So what kind of music did No Exit play?
That's so funny. What a trip down memory lane. Well, I think we kind of just, we wanted to be, I guess, a cross between Silverchair and maybe Stone Temple Pilots, so somewhere around those lines, but we pulled none of it off. There was plenty of exits for all of us.
Yeah.
For new opportunity.
Oh, were you the lead singer?
No, I was the drummer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I played drums forever until the reason I got into singing and guitaring was because when you're a drummer, it's very hard for the rest of the band to take you seriously.
Right. Right.
But, yeah.
I was when I played hockey, I was a goalie. And I feel goalies and drummers have a lot in common in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the engine room, right? But
yeah.
I have been watching a bit of hockey, and I notice if anyone goes near the goalies, they get their head smacked in.
Yeah. As long as the defense is good. Sometimes you get a defenseman who maybe him and the goalie got in an argument the night before, and he's like, turned a blind eye. Go ahead, give him a fucking slash. I don't give a shit. Should have picked up the bill last night. Did you guys play actual shows? Did you ever do live shows?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We used to play like shitty little casino pubs. I remember like our parents would have to come with us. And one time we got real popular amongst all our peers because our bass player's dad actually brought back from the UK a legitimate double-decker red bus, right?
Oh.
So Oh, this thing was epic. So we would pack like, I don't know, 60 kids onto this freaking red double-decker bus and just burn it down the highway. And, the biggest fucking renter crowd you've ever seen. But, man, some of the shit that went on upstairs in that bus, it was crazy.
That's fucking awesome.
Virginities were lost.
Probably a lot of people lost their virginity in the top of a fucking double-decker bus while no exit is playing. That's why you lose your virginity. There's no exit.
There's no exit.
You either get fucked or you don't go anywhere. I mean, what's it going to be?
Oh, it was sick, man. Like some of those days, if you spoke to anybody that was on one of those bus trips, and, they would say what a great time it was. And the funniest part was our parents downstairs would just get fucking lick it up, man. One time, the guitarist's dad, he like just full face planted the ground because he was just hammered. Why not?
Oh, that's so awesome.
Designated driver, it's perfect.
Did everyone just bring their own stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It was, there you go. Going back to saying growing up in Australia, these days, you just probably couldn't get away with something like that. But,
no.
Back then, I sound old now, but back then, yeah, it was a little different, wasn't it? You could pack 60 kids onto a bus full of piss and half of them come off non-virgins. Woo!
Oh, that's a weekend right there. That's a Saturday.
That's a weekend.
So how long were these trips? Like, would you because you said you're on the highway. So
yeah.
where are you going? And then when do you come back?
And so, we would go from the Central Coast to Sydney and potentially play a gig wherever it was. And, that's an hour and a bit drive for sure. Rattling down the highway in a fucking UK double-decker red bus.
Wow. So you guys pile into the bus, drive to the gig, do a gig, and then everybody piles on and back. Oh, man. And you're like teenagers at this point?
Yeah, we were probably like 16, I reckon. But the age group, the age bracket probably varied, man. It was 16 to the parents who were like 50.
Right.
And the parents would be down the bottom, up the front, because I feel they probably thought they were pedos if they went any further back in the bus. But that was their section and they just got fucking hammered. It was good.
That is so fucking awesome, man. That is
we should do that again, eh? Fuck, that'd be sick.
Dude, that is such a great idea. I don't know how that becomes legal or if there's like a way to get like an alcohol license or something and just keep the driver. Like, I don't know how you make that legal, but that is one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
Like I said, man, imagine you had kids now and they were all fucking wasted on this bus with heaps of piss driving down the highway. They just,
No.
It wouldn't go down these days.
Especially all of them full of beans, probably as well.
Man.
Piss and beans and alcohol and sex.
It was like a scene from fucking Grease or something. Just everyone sucking face. Just it was awesome.
That is so cool, man. Do the guys that were in that band, do any of them still do music?
Oh yeah, all of them. So the guitarist singer Alex, he plays for a number of musicians that tour all around the world. And Tim was in a band called the Griswolds, which I don't know whether they're together anymore, but they were doing lots of stuff through the States and everything. Mike, the bass player, I don't think he went on to do much with music, but I don't know what he's fucking doing, to be honest. But oh man, I don't know. It was crazy. I know Mike's brother Chris still plays drums and all sorts of stuff. So yeah,
That's awesome. And what ended up happening to No Exit?
Oh, there was major riff in the
No.
camp.
Oh
They,
no. What
they
happened?
well, the guitarist and the bass player went on to start another group called Finer, which I mean, I don't think they ever had the bus parties and all of that. So everything just started falling apart, unfortunately.
That's
Because
terrible.
it was Mike's dad who owned the bus, right? The bass
Right.
player. And when you kick out the bass player and the drummer, the connection with the bus is gone. So
Right.
you're gonna have to make your own fans now, boys.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna have to start small, pile everybody in a Hyundai or something first. Work your way up. You don't have to bust.
That in Australia, I don't know whether it's a thing here, but again, going back into yesteryear, getting 15 people into a minibus to a festival or something like that, and everyone was fucking just plastered drunk. So,
Right.
so
Right.
I think so long as the driver was sober, the law enforcement was happy. Now, whether that's still a thing, I'm not sure, but that should be the way. So long as the driver's not hammered,
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They need you in Parliament is where they need you. That's let's get that bill. As long as the driver's not drunk. I mean, who gives a fuck what's going on back there?
It's true.
Now we have like party buses and limos, like party limos, limo buses, and people they have to be separated from the driver, like one of the glass things, or like far enough away where they can't do anything to them, and then it seems legal. So, but that is not a double decker open air on the top bus.
But like, what are you gonna do? Fucking woo,
Yeah.
woo to the driver? Like, fuck
Yeah.
off, you idiot! Like, go have
Yeah.
your drink somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So doesn't make any sense.
That's awesome. So once the guys left to start the group, did you guys, the two remaining, did you guys form a new band?
No, not really. I went on to play in another coast band called Years From Now. And we kind of gigged around and had our first interstate trip. Nothing too major. And then from there, it was the next band I joined was the Lazies, which was called Lazy Sundays.
Oh, wow.
Because Matt was singing and he had a bit of a different lineup. So, we tried that for a while, but I kind of knew better musicians, I felt. So I sort of convinced Matt to play lead guitar. He was playing rhythm guitar. And then we brought in Willie, who was the bass player in the Lazies for like 12 years. And then, the rest is sort of history there. But we never had the double-decker bus, the Lazies, and I think that could have been the the missing piece to our success.
Hey, there's still time, man. There's still time. Once we get your bill passed that through Trudeau seems like his life's a fucking mess right now. He might just sign off on it. You never know. Now's the time.
Now's the time.
Yeah, man. There's still this doesn't have to be over. This week we can look to the future and get this. I'll sign it. I'll sign whatever I have to. I'm in.
I love it how you said Trudeau looks like his life's a bit of a fucking mess.
Well,
oh God!
Every day he's coming out of the house to the podium. He's unshaven. He looks like he hasn't slept. There's reports his wife has left him. He's falling apart, man. He'll sign off on this bill for sure. Yeah, fuck it. Let him drink in the bus. Who cares?
A wise woman once told me. She said, Leon, because I said, blokes take breakups so much harder than women, it seems, And she goes, Leon, when a lady leaves a man, she's had her mind made up for many months before.
That's so true.
Yeah. And the guy's just like, fuck.
This is out of nowhere. What the hell happened?
This is out of nowhere.
You just woke up. You just woke up and thought, yeah, today I'm leaving the prime minister. This is bullshit. I have to be out there at the podium in 3 minutes. What the fuck? You couldn't have told me this yesterday.
He's always late too, isn't he?
Always. That's why he's trying right before.
He's trying.
Can't believe it.
Trying
Can't
or
believe out
crying
of
or
nowhere
both.
she fucked me like this.
Oh yeah, yeah, mate. Nah, you got to see these things coming. That's where men need to get smarter.
That's right. Yeah. Pay attention, man.
Pay attention.
Yeah. This guy didn't have to be out there calming the country down or scaring the shit out of him, depending on the day. Maybe he could have saw what was going on right under his nose. Anyways. So did you, when you guys formed the Lazies or the Lazy Sundays, I guess at first, did you guys start doing music and focus on the band full time, or did you have to have like jobs along the way? Have you ever had a real job?
Oh yeah. Yeah. My band laugh at me because I've got the greatest resume probably on the face of the earth. I've done everything.
Give me a couple of the better.
I was only thinking about this the other day. For a long time I was a dish pig. Do you call them dish pigs over here?
Dish pig, is that like washing the dishes at a restaurant? Yeah.
Yeah, I did that for years, getting paid nothing.
Yeah.
But the waitresses were hot, so that was kind of a bonus. But, mate, I was a paper boy. Odd jobs, mate. Odd jobs. I worked in a fish shop for years, worked in a news agency.
Fish shop? Like selling fish?
Yeah, selling fish, filleting fish, fucking anything you need to know with fish, I'm your guy. It's, South Pacific fish anyway. What else, mate? Then I went into construction and, the fucking sloths I had to put up with in that industry, Jesus Christ. They just yell at you like you're vermin.
What were you doing there? Were you just kind of the all over the place kind of guy?
Yeah, pretty well. It's hard to earn any respect in the trades as a musician because they all just think you're a clown,
right?
Dance monkey.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that. There's so many.
When I was a young struggling comedian, I worked for a guy who he did like renovations.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as he found out which was like day 2, that I was a comedian and kind of working here part-time, he just looked at me like a complete piece of shit the rest of my time there. Every time he asked me to do something, he was already shaking his head. Like, I know you're probably going to fuck this up, pussy, but get me that brick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I learned very early on in the trade. You've got to cement your manpower. Otherwise they'll fucking just walk all over you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. 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 When I worked in this is a good story. When I worked in the fish shop, it's probably, I've had about 10 years, so they can't try me for this right now. So this fish shop I used to work at, the nightclub, for some reason the cleaner would come in and clean it at like 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Fucking weird time to clean, but that's when he did it. And I'd be coming home from the club, so I'd fucking take a couple of mates, pull up the garage door, and fucking turn on the fryers and cook up a mad late night snack. Soak up the booze and then fucking keep going. It was awesome.
Did the cleaner ever catch you?
No, he was there. He was in on it.
Oh, he was in on it. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
He didn't know how to start up all the fryers and things like that,
Right.
The pilot light. It's a very intricate process.
Absolutely. Yeah. You need the fish guy.
You need the fucking stonkered drunk fish guy.
Absolutely. Right? If anyone's going to make wicked food at that time of the morning, it's going to be the stupid drunk fish guy.
The stupid drunk fisho. So yeah, that was a good time. Small community, small communities.
Yeah.
It's good.
Do you remember the last kind of real job that you had, day job, right before you were able to do music full time?
Yeah, it was in construction.
That was it?
Just a shit kicker.
How excited were you to, like, what was the day like where you were like, I don't need to go here anymore. This is fucking amazing. What was that like?
Well, to be honest, there wasn't one day. It just kind of morphed into that. But it's good. Sometimes I like to do the physical work, but like I said, man, I just can't handle fucking, going to work, and there's always such strenuous deadlines and fucking tasks. It's like, take a leaf out of the fucking Buddhist book or something, for fuck's sake. Do you need marriage counseling? What's wrong with you? Like, like, you're not here at 7:30. It's 7:40. It's not 7:30. It's like, it's 10 fucking minutes, mate. Jesus.
I like how one of your issues was the tasks. My biggest problem with work? The work.
Yeah.
They want you to work.
And you could fucking do a job 100% epic, and like, you've done your job, and they'll always come back and find something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Oh, this stud is just a little bit off fucking level, and it's like, yeah, and fucking drywall's going over it. We're not fucking sculpting a statue here.
Right.
It's just like, anyway.
Did you ever get fired? Have you ever been fired from a job?
Oh, yeah. I've been fired from plenty of jobs. I've told bosses to fuck off more times than I've probably shown up to work. I made this deal with myself, Jeff. I said, when you say that time where you didn't have to go back to work or whatever like that, I made this deal with myself, and it was that I'm never going to work for someone else's dream anymore, because for too long I did it, and I learnt that they're ungrateful cunts anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, there's probably plenty of people out there when they watch this going, he's such a fucking asshole, this guy.
No, I don't think so. Well, maybe.
But
maybe a couple, but you know what, man? I had almost the exact same thing happen to me. The last job I really ever had that was a day job was I sold coffee. Not sold it, sorry, delivered coffee. Like I would restock coffee machines. And every day we'd come in, you'd get your truck, you'd go into the warehouse, you'd load your shit, and then you'd go for the day. It's the only kind of job I could have because I could be by myself and nobody really bothering me.
That's good.
But I remember the owner rarely ever came in. He was this old, really, really rich dude. And one day I come in and a boat is in the warehouse. It's getting to be like the near the end of summer, like fall, right? There was a boat in the warehouse, and I'm like, it's a really nice boat. I wonder, and I thought maybe we were doing like a giveaway or, something for the staff. Like I thought, that's great. We can all earn a boat. Anyway, just found out, no, that's the owner's boat that he keeps in his warehouse where he keeps all his product. And I just remember every day coming in and looking at that boat, hating what I was doing, hating the fact that I had to get up and come here. And I was like, dude, I do not want to be buying this guy another fucking boat. I don't want to be here so long to see that boat next year is upgraded to the better boat. And it was because of me. I want a fucking boat. I want the boat, and it was the last job I ever had. And I remember like between the time of thinking that to maybe a month later, maybe 6 weeks later, and I was done. And and I've never, since then, I've never gone back. I do not have a boat. I'll give you that. But yeah, I completely understand that, man. That's
mate, the best part about boats is using other people's, mate, because you don't have to maintain them, upkeep them, pay for them. Fuck that. Just give me a beer. I'll get on your boat.
Yeah. So you're saying I should have stayed at that job, befriended the owner, and then I would have got on his boat.
Well, no, what I'm saying is you should have lifted up the seat, taken a shit, and then let it fester. And then, you know, when he takes the boat out, he's like, "Oh fuck, what's this?" It's like doing a top shelfer, mate. You know, when you
What is a top shelfer?
when you take a shit in the area where the water's stored of the toilet.
In the tank. In the tank.
A top shelfer, a top decker. What do you want to call it? You never heard of that?
No.
Oh, mate. It must be Australian, eh? Fuck.
Have you done it? Have you done that?
Mate, as I said, I'm not I hang out with troublemakers. I like the idea of a top decker, but I'm not going to be the guy squatting.
This episode of Leeson Learned is sponsored by the Big Fish Steak and Lounge in Sarnia, Ontario. One of my personal favorite restaurants in the world. I was going to say in the country, but no, in the world. They have some of the greatest food I have ever had. Every single time I eat there, I think to myself, it will never get better than what I have just eaten. And the next time I go back, they top it once again. It's that good. If you live in the Sarnia area, make sure you book your reservation for lunch or dinner, or hell, book your reservation for both right now. Do it tonight. What are you going to cook for dinner tonight? Probably something awful. Don't do that. Head on over to the Big Fish Steak and Lounge. If you don't live in Sarnia, I suggest you make a trip down just for the food, or if you're going to be in the area, stop in and have one of the greatest meals you will ever have.
Have you heard of the reverse kanga?
No.
The reverse kanga is when you take a shit in reverse, so the skid marks are just out of control. That's in Australia what we call a reverse kanga.
Wait, when you say reverse, do you mean sitting facing the tank?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're able to like finally do music full time, do you remember, were you guys was it a tour? Was that kind of the first thing that you guys went on, was like sort of a longer tour?
Well, to be honest, when it all started sort of becoming more about music every day was when we did our record, Tropical Hazards. So we work with Ian from Billy Talent, and he's the guitarist with the hair. The hair. Sometimes it's up there.
Right.
And anybody that knows Ian or his work, he's very particular, and you know, it's a 10-hour day, fucking every day of the week. You know, you might get Sunday off to go to church, but
right.
So I mean, that was a good almost year-long process, writing, recording, and everything. So that was pretty much only music. And then there was a period there where I went back building decks and stuff like that. But touring, we were always on the road before COVID as well. When I say that I've worked other jobs, it might be a month or two here and there. But far out. Like the schedule just keeps getting busier and busier. If COVID can somehow fuck off, then we have we have a UK tour and a European tour already booked for the end of this year, which is like 30 plus shows, which is a few months overseas. And then obviously I do now the mentoring sort of side of things with my business Bandwagon. So if you could call that work, it is work, but I just love it so much, obviously. That keeps me busy as well, between writing for my own band or whether it was touring or recording a record or whatever. So, yeah, it's all music, man. It's crazy.
Do you remember the first big tour you guys went on? First kind of headlining tour? What was that like?
No, it was a support tour in Australia. and it was 40 shows.
Oh,
And
wow.
our drummer quit the night before. And then so we had to get a drummer that I used to teach drums. And the next day we rehearsed the half an hour set or whatever we were allocated for this tour. Excuse us. And then we were on straight down to Melbourne to start this tour. And mate, it was just a free for all. It was 40 shows. It was fucking crazier than the Red Bus. It was it was nuts. 40 dates around Australia. There were I think this band was selling about 500 plus a night, and it was just crazy. I think people lost wives on that tour, and someone's crying in the back room. What's wrong? Oh, she left me. Oh, well, that's because you're a fucking loser on the road who just drinks and fucking rocks. That's it. There's no such thing as a normal life. And we're like, is this our future? And we're like, 24, something like that. And now I'm 36. And yep, it was certainly the future.
Wow. Wow. And how were you guys traveling at that time? Were you on a bus or a van? Or
No, we had what did we have then? I think we had my parents' old Sonata. Bloody good thing it was, except it had leather seats, right, and no air conditioning. And in summer, it was just a fucking sweat box. It was hectic.
Oh, shit.
We used to pull a little trailer. Pull a little trailer and, just sleep on couches. And it was the epitome of a shit show. It was crazy. And if you read any bloody books of bands that have been in the early days, it was exactly that. And except we're not famous enough to write a book, so we just lived it.
Yeah.
We traded our cars, me and Matt, once for a van, and the first gig we used it on, it fucking just blew up. So like I was in the back, and as the crazy kid I was back in the day, I just started fucking kicking out windows. Losing it, and I'm like, fuck off, it's my van, I'll do what I want with it. and our old bass player Willie had to like fucking restrain me by the neck and just hold me down like a rabid dog. And that was the end of that van. We got one trip out of it, and we traded our cars in, and we went back to this arsehole who sold it to us, and he was like, oh, it's not my problem. And he's like, your trade-in cars didn't even have the stereos or CD players in them. And I was like, oh, so you wanted them too, you prick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
So
crazy.
what happened? What happened after the van? Did you guys have to get a new van, or what'd you upgrade to?
Upgrade. Far out. I don't know, to be honest. Probably one of our cars again. But, touring in Australia slowed down a lot in terms of pulling trailers and all of that because I don't know. It was a lot of reasons. Like, EDM and DJ started becoming a big thing. So we really grew up in a very hard, it's a hard thing to describe, but there was never really a full-on rock scene or anything. It was always changing. You could never really grab onto anything. So I guess really the first time we ever felt that security was coming over to Canada because, as we know, there's a great rock scene here. And then furthermore in Europe and places like Germany where there's a real scene. So, yeah, that was kind of it. We kind of did one tour of Australia. I think that was enough too. I don't think anyone would want us back after it, man. It was great. I'm telling you, it was nuts. 3 bands on the road. Like, we got pulled into line so many times by the tour manager, just like, guys, like, we'd just go in and steal all the headliners' booze, like fucking all of it. Before they could even get off stage, it'd be all gone every night. Till they had, and it's like, well, just order more. You're the headliner. Fuck. Right. You don't think someone has to pay for it at that age, You're just like, oh, fuck, it's all rainbows. It's all free,
Wow.
Yeah.
How much booze are we talking? Like what kind of riders would this band have? Who was the band you were opening for?
They were called Something with Numbers.
I love band names, man.
Something with Numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was they had a couple of big songs back in the early 2000s, and so it was them. I don't know, man. They'd be fucking, I don't know, a few bottles of whiskey, fucking Jaeger, 2 cartons of beer. But, you know, as per usual, the clubs never look after the support bands. You're just the vermin.
Right. Right.
Twice I've used that word in this. So, yeah, like I still get the shits about that. You know, some venues you go to, you go, have you got any bottled water? They go, oh, no, we don't have bottled water. I'm like, did you get the fucking contract? Right? And they go, oh, we can give you a couple of jugs. And I'm like, no. Do you know how much a fucking carton of Nestle water is? $3. You fucking lazy asshole. Go buy it. Fuck. Is it that hard? So, yeah. Could tell my manager loves me, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They must love you. Do you guys have a like when you do shows now? Do you have a rider?
Yeah.
What's in your rider?
We've progressed to the rider now.
What's that?
We've progressed to the rider. We get that.
Yeah.
We're very basic. We just like booze and lots of more booze. Like fuck the sandwich platters and all the cold meats and celery sticks. Buck them off and just pile the fridge full of beer. So we'll do 2 boxes of beer, a liter of Jaeger, bottle of red. That's about it. Maybe some Red Bull to spice things up a little.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that usually lasts us. And I'm dead set. By the time we get there for sound check, by the time we leave, there's never anything left.
Ever?
Never. Except for panties. They're not women's panties, they're blokes. We get all the dudes hanging around, man. It's bullshit. I wish I was in the Motley Crew. They're all like, oh, can I have a beer? And I'm like, fuck, where's the chicks at?
Oh, that's yeah, that's awesome. What's the biggest show or biggest crowd you guys have played so far?
Be hands down Wacken Festival, or Wacken, as the Germans pronounce it. And that's in Germany near Hamburg. And we played to probably 20,000. And
wow.
It was so full on, man. Like, you know, the crowd really showed up for us. And I don't think I've ever been involved in anything so incredible, really. And do you know, fun fact, they have a 5-kilometer beer pipeline that goes into that farm or wherever they host the festival. And it travels 5 Ks underground to wherever they get the beer from.
Wow.
And the beer is so cold, and it's like German proficiency. It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
So if you ever go to a festival and you get a warm Molson, just fucking peg it at them.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna peg it at them, and then I'm gonna go take a top shelfer in the nearest toilet
and a reverse Kanga.
And a reverse Kanga. Don't ever serve me a warm fucking beer again.
And a warm Molson at that.
Fuck. Yeah. What was it like playing to 20,000 people? Like when you're up there looking out at that, I mean, that just must look like a sea of heads and people. What was that like?
A sea of psychos.
Yeah.
It's really good, but I don't know. You don't really remember a lot because you're sort of so focused.
Yeah.
And you're in this zone. It's very difficult to understand or describe. I mean, you're a performer. You'd know you're kind of in that zone. So it's difficult to say. Oh, like it's not like you're standing at the lookout, fucking looking over, Mount Kosciuszko or whatever, looking down over the beautiful snowy ranges. This is wonderful. It's like you're at work, you're fucking, you know.
Yeah. And were you guys the like on last? Were you the headliners of the show?
No, not even close. We were not even close. I've never been involved in something so orchestrated and just huge. It's like a whole. It's like it's got its own hospital. It's got its own imagine like Fresco's and shit like that. You know, the big concrete fucking stores. They erect those, man. There's like I think they do like over 400,000 people in 4 days or 5 days.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so. It's like tent city, like it's crazy. So yeah, I mean they have major headliners. We were just on the side stage, but the beauty about it is that you know, people had to make an effort to come to our stage, and before we played, it was rather empty. And then you know when we took to the stage, it was completely full. So people had made an effort to come and see us. So that was really good.
That's awesome. So were you guys on early in the day, or was it like in the evening?
Well, I think we were on at 6 o'clock, maybe something like that at night.
And so then do you just do the show and immediately get out, or did you get to like enjoy the rest of the festival?
Yeah, this one we got to enjoy it. I made some friends over the time that I've been going to Germany. Went back to their tent, which was like 4 Ks away.
Right.
And actually did get lost before our bus call. It's like navigating fucking, I don't know, a big area. So,
right.
Yeah.
And when you guys travel now, do you have a bus?
It depends. It depends what sort of run we're doing. Right. And it also depends, like on your schedule. So, yes, sometimes we do. And then sometimes we use splitter vans and stay in hotels, which I kind of like a little bit better anyway, because the drives kind of do suck a bit more because you can't lie down. But you get like a clean hotel every night, right?
Right.
Whereas when you're in a bus, it just like imagine a dirty pair of socks, man. That's what the whole capsule ends up like, a dirty pair of socks.
Right.
And you can hear everyone snore. Like I have TJ, our bass player. We share a room. He's very, very clean and he's a quiet sleeper, even though I'm probably not. He doesn't get raging stonkered either like I do. So I just come home to snore my ass off, and he probably hates me, but I love him. And but that's one guy in a bus. You have like fucking 10 guys, like all in the same vicinity, and all you've got's a little curtain. So it's kind of like yuck. Like it seems like this whole like prestigious thing to have this beautiful bus and whatnot, cruising down the highway, but really it's just a bus full of stinky fucks. Right. And with a curtain between them and having a pull or whatever. Like, it's just, I like hotels.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair, man. Can you give me, you must have so many road stories, but can you give me sort of a memorable, crazy fucking night that it was just like, I can't even believe what's just happened here?
Fuck. Oh, dude, off the top of my head. Oh, there's so many, man. I a good one that didn't happen to me was I think our video guy pretty well got like kidnapped and over a fucking phone charger. I was like, why don't you just buy one at the fucking convenience store? I think he went to some rando's house in Europe and then had to fucking scale out the window like Spider-Man because this guy was like, it was hectic. But he jumped out of the fucking van at a red light. My dad was on the road with us at the time, and literally the next day we were going from point A to point B to point C, point D, picking up every band member, depending on where they fucking passed out. I mean, that's pretty tame, but if I got into some really fucking dirty ones, it's just,
Yeah, I
we'll save
understand.
that for a beer together.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, definitely. I'm in for that. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen a fan do, like in the audience? Have you ever seen like crazy mosh pits or anything like that?
Crazy mosh pits, all that. A real memorable one there is in Hamburg. We played a place called the Molotov, which is yeah, I think it's called Molotov, or I don't know. But a lot of bands get their start there. And so we played it, and it was sold out, which was amazing. And this fucking guy's in a kilt. So obviously the big question is, are you legit there, pal?
Right.
Got the old bloody spuds underneath there. And, so I get him up on stage, and he just fucking, right, throws his kilt in the air. He's fucking flashing the crowd. And then the guy just decides to crowd surf. So his ass and his spuds are flying everywhere.
Shit.
That was a good one. I like that. That was like, because if you wore a kilt and you had underwear on under it, I'd be disappointed. I'd be like, mate, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's un-Scottish, like.
It absolutely is. It's about the only time that somebody cannot wear underwear and you'd be disappointed. Like, the fuck are you doing? Get those off. You can't wear that if you're going to be putting shit underneath. That's crazy.
Exactly. There was a point in Europe where now they don't just crowd surf. They pair up. And one lies on their fucking back or their stomach on the crowd, and they're like doing that. And then one guy just decides it's a good idea to stand on top of the body. And so he's kind of like surfing the body.
What?
Yeah. And there'll be like 4 of them at one time all going on.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I've never really seen the whole split the crowd because I don't feel concussions are fucking something I want to encourage. But
yeah.
I've always liked when they're like, fucking spread, like the fucking metal bands, and then they just run at each other like a medieval battle, and it's the survival of the fittest.
Yeah, it's so fucking crazy, man. I've seen videos of that. It's like, what?
Fuck.
What the hell is wrong with these
Mate,
people?
if I'm not fighting for fucking land titles, there's no way I'm doing that. Just for fun? Fuck that.
And they paid money. They paid to go there and fucking do that.
Come out with a smashed up face. Your whole fucking weekend's ruined. You can't see the headliner. Whoa, that was a smart idea, wasn't it?
That's
In the
crazy.
first aid tent, hanging out with all the spazzos who've taken too many drugs, you know. I always wonder how they get there, right? Far out. I know everyone's different, but, you know, when I take drugs, it's a fucking good time. I'm not ending up in the St. John's tent. That doesn't sound fun.
No, that's never
Sounds
good.
like they need more drugs, to be honest. Quick, have a bump of this. You'll be great. Fuck off.
Oh, man. Oh, man. You should be, after your set, from now on, whenever you do a festival, whenever you're done your set, you should go work in the St. John's ambulance tent. Just, you should be giving people bumps or whatever. Here, take this. Get the fuck back there. No need for the party to
You
stop.
go in the St. John's ambulance tent, they're all fucking spazzed out, and you're like, have you ever heard of cocaine? They're like, oh, no. Well, I tell you, if you have some, you'll be fucking on your way.
Who the hell is that guy? Dr. Harrison is here now.
The Harrison's in the house.
You ever heard of cocaine? That's oh shit, man. Well, dude, this has been so much fun, man. I'd love to have you on again because I feel like we just barely have scratched the surface here, but this has been so great.
I'd love to come back on, man.
Yeah, man. I've learned a lot too. This was a real learning experience for me.
Top sofa, top decker, fucking reverse kanga. Cocaine in the St. John's ambulance tent.
That's right. Absolutely. And if you need a good fish fry, trust the drunk fish guy in the middle of the night.
The drunk angler. Yeah, man. Oh, fuck. I love it.
But yeah, man.
I'll come back on, mate. I got more stories. I'll think of some next time.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to, man, because this has been great. If people want to follow you on social media, where can they find you?
Yeah, right. Well, you got the Lazies, which is my band. On Instagram, that's just at the Lazies, because we don't need, at Lazies 1, 2, 3, anything like that. Fuck that shit. Yeah. It's just at the Lazies.
You got there first and got the name. Yeah.
Fully,
not so lazy. You were the opposite of the name. That's great.
And I'm also doing, obviously, the bandwagon mentorships. Now people watch this, they're probably like, this guy teaches people? Fuck.
Hey, buddy. Hey, for anybody out there, I've just learned more in this last hour than I've probably learned my whole life. So, true. Yes, he is a teacher. You'll learn a lot. I don't know about the music part, but I've certainly learned a lot of life lessons here.
I want photo evidence of your top decker.
Okay, well, you're gonna get it.
Check me out at what is it? Bandwagon Workshops, which it's a mentorship program, just sort of encouraging people to sort of challenge themselves and test their abilities in their crafts. We want to workshop songs and give advice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea and a terrific thing you're doing for the young musicians, and especially like entertainment as a whole. I know from comedy, we've talked a little bit about that before, where it's just it's tough to navigate and you don't really know what you're doing. And in your case, like, it can be tough to get the songwriting stuff going. So I think it's awesome what you've done there with that, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where you can find me. And I'm always, I'm on Facebook, Leon Harrison. I'm always on there, but fucking creating shit. Like my latest one, Jeff's been dating apps. And I quit them all because they're just a waste of time. Oh my God, they're a fucking waste of time. But it's hilarious. I love it. Here, I'll leave you with this one. I'll leave you with this one. This girl on there, she goes, I'm just horrible at cooking rice. I've got a pressure cooker. I've done everything I can, blah, blah, blah. But I just can't cook rice. And I wrote to her, have you ever read the instructions? No reply. Anyway, thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you for being here, man. And remember, if you are having trouble cooking rice, read the fucking instructions.
It's fucking 2 cups of fucking water, 1 cup of rice. Once it's boiled, you just put it on a simmer, 20 minutes, bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, there you go.
Real easy. Real fucking easy.
Real fucking easy. Oh, man. Thank you again, man. I really appreciate this.
No worries, Jeff. I love you, mate, and we'll talk soon.